Coming up on this episode of Bro, Do You Even Talk Pinball, we're going to do news updates, including Kevin's recap of MGC and his impressions of Willy Wonka.
We're going to review Black Knight Sword of Rage and Alice Cooper's Nightmare Castle.
All that and more, coming right up.
Double super!
Drive Reality Productions and Buffalo Pinball presents the Jersey Jack Pinball Seminar.
That's cool.
We got to turn our mics on though. So that was not the Jersey Jack Pinball Seminar. That was the intro for the seminar that we played, that they played before the Wonka reveal. That's why I played that.
All right. So now we have some audio.
Now we have audio.
You guys missed all the good jokes I just told.
Yeah, they were great.
All right.
You'll never know.
Let me ask you this. You got the slideshow under control this time.
I spent like an hour and a half screwing with that slideshow. So it better work.
I hate computers. I hate PC. One day everything's working fine. The next day there's an update and it's broken. Anyways, what's up, pinball players? Welcome to Bro, Do You Even Talk Pinball. I'm Nick Lane.
Kevin Manny.
We didn't have Rudy introduce us, so let's get on a first name basis.
That's right. That's us.
All right. Well, I haven't seen Kevin for 24 hours. It's been a long time. How you doing?
It was good. It was a full day of work. We crushed it at Team League last night, and here we are.
Yeah, we won our Team League.
Oh, yeah, we did.
So even though there's like a playoffs and finals, like we've won that.
Even if we lose,
Even if we lose every single match, we can throw matches all day long. We win. Finally did it.
It's gonna be a fun year.
How many seasons did we play in it and never win? Like never won the title?
6 or 7 seasons at this point.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't win. I won like 4 times.
You won. So I brought Kevin on my team finally. Enough is enough. As Martha said, I got rid of some dead weight. Her words. She was one of them, right? She was one of them, yeah.
And Jay.
And she's got a very nice friend that played on the team, but like is not a pinball player. So it was severely handicapped. And Jay.
Mostly Jay.
Anyways, it is Thursday, May 2nd. And this is technically our April podcast because we do one every month. Mm-hmm. Just for whatever reason, running a little bit late. This time? I blame Jesus and Easter.
Well, yeah, and it's been a crazy busy month in pinball, for pinball in general and for us, which we'll get into later with our updates. But
yeah,
first let's thank some partners.
That's right. You want to tackle this?
Sure.
Okay.
First up, Comet Pinball. Go to cometpinball.com and get some awesome LED kits for your pinball machines. I'm going to talk about the kits that I got, and I was showing Nick, and he was pretty impressed. So check them out. Double Danger, ddpinball.com. Use coupon code Buffalo to save 15% on all the hottest pinball swag and merch and shirts and all the good stuff they have over there. The Mod Couple, themodcouplepinball.com. Get yourself a Jack the Monkey for your Pirates of the Caribbean and all sorts of other cool mods. I was streaming Pirates of the Caribbean the other night, and programmer Joe Katz said he liked my Kraken mod that I had on there. So there you go.
Sweet.
It's good endorsement. Flipping Out Pinball, flipoutpinball.com. If you want to buy a pinball machine, you can buy one from them. They sell basically all the major manufacturers. So check them out. We saw Zach out at MGC, so give them some business. Our new podcast exclusive sponsor, Pinside. Mm-hmm. Pinside.com. The ultimate destination for pinball on the web. Amazing database of games. You can review your machines. You can put your high scores up. All sorts of stuff.
You can get in fights with random people on the internet.
Anything. Primarily.
Anything pinball.
If you want to do that thing, all things pinball, go to pinside.com. Thanks so much to Robin from Pinside for partnering with us. Glad to have them aboard. Jersey Jack Pinball, jerseyjackpinball.com. Willy Wonka. All the best pinball machines, especially for a home collection. Check them out, jerseyjackpinball.com. Pinballraffle.org. That's Pinball EDU's monthly raffle for a pinball machine. Type ! Raffle in chat, or ! Charity in chat, sorry, to get in on that, or visit pinballraffle.org. Community Beer Works, you can do the honors on that.
I love Community Beer Works. I love beer. They love pinball. I love pinball. It's a match made in heaven. If you guys ever come to the pinball Buffalo area, definitely check them out. We just delivered Stern's new Black Knight sort of rage there. There's 8 pinball machines. Awesome place, awesome people. Community Beer Works. And
Pin Stadium, app-controlled LED lighting for your pinball machines. Check them out, pinstadium.com. They have coupon code Buffalo to save 10%. Pinball Arcade, our friends who are streaming tonight and probably be sending everybody over here to check us out. Pinballarcade.com, virtual recreations of real pinball machines for all of your favorite devices. Pinball Mix, if you got a pinball machine and you want to change the sounds in it, check them out, pinballmix.com. Use coupon code Buffalo to save 10% and get a free Easter egg. And last, certainly not least, titanpinball.com. Use coupon code Buffalo to save 10% on silicone rings to replace the rubber rings in your pinball machines. Also, which I've been doing. What are you clicking on over here? You're throwing me off, bro.
I'm good.
All right. That's all our sponsors. Attack says we should get more sponsors, and we will get more sponsors. Oh God, I'm screwing it all up.
Kevin,
I touched my mouse and he screwed me up.
Kevin has to play announcer, podcaster, and technician, producer,
and producer,
basically.
Yeah.
I was just scrolling up so I can see the notes.
Okay,
because it wasn't showing.
Okay, yeah, we have so many sponsors because we're amazing. That's true. Bottom line,
it's true. And if it wasn't for our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to have this fine equipment and all the other good things, or do things like take trips to MGC, right? Because,
exactly.
You know what? Let's talk about that for a second, because we're on thinking sponsors. Mm-hmm. Want to think
little housekeeping.
We got a little housekeeping to do, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. A nod to one of my favorite podcasts, anyways. First of all, thank you for the sponsors. Thank you for the amazing support we've received recently. I don't know what it is. We've been doing kind of a push, but we're at an all-time high for subscribers on Twitch. So thank you guys so much. It's really generous. I mean, we're always flattered when someone decides to go through the effort of subscribing and giving us some money every month. That helps out because Kevin decided to make an 11-hour road trip to MGC. So, that requires money, requires a lot of time. So Kevin had to take off from work for that. Mm-hmm. Kevin drove out there. You had to get a hotel room. Mm-hmm. So we're talking, several $100s, close to $1,000, probably a round trip doing that, right?
I mean, thankfully I didn't have to drive, or I didn't have to fly, so that saved costs because Skip Natty is halfway in between. So I drove out there after work Thursday night, stayed at his house. Then we drove all the rest of the way to MGC on Friday morning. Then did the stream and all that stuff. So
right,
we were frugal about it, but it still takes money and time and effort to get out there and do it.
And that money comes from the support that you guys give us. So thank you so much. That's why we're able to do things like that.
Yes,
and bring you guys the best content that we can.
And the real reason why everybody's subscribing is because they wanted that sweet new emote. So let's see it in chat, everybody.
Yeah, I don't care what the reason is. It worked. Good job. All right.
Also, they like us.
Speaking of MGC, Kevin went out there. I wasn't able to attend. I had to work. So go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, Midwest Gaming Classic. This was my first official visit there. I say official because I did visit many, 20 years ago. I went out there for, somebody mentioned the Atari Jaguar kiosk that's behind us. I went out there for an Atari Jaguar festival that would eventually turn into Midwest Gaming Classic. So Dan Lucen, I'm sure he doesn't listen to this. Maybe he does. He's the host and kind of the mind behind Midwest Gaming Classic. I saw him at the event. It was great to see him, reconnect with him at what he called JagFest plus other stuff.
JagFest.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That was what it was called.
Let's move on.
I knew you'd like that. So yeah, it was cool. I mean, it was like a whirlwind. So like I said, I went out there Thursday night. I took chicken finger subs to Skip Natty and his wife. Spent the night there. We got up at the crack of dawn, took off to Midwest Gaming Classic, drove another however many hours, 5-6 hours to get there through Chicago and all that stuff. And then we got there at midday, just after noon. And then it was like, all right, let's get going to set up all the gear. And so we met up with the Jersey Jack folks. And then we went, they had a staging room where they had all the Wonkas. So it was a tight schedule because they had the games in a different room, because the room that we were going to be doing the stream from was being used by there was another presentation or something going on in there for like up until 6. So, and then we had to be live at 7. So we had an hour to get the machines up on a freight elevator into the room, set up, stream gear set up, all that stuff. So it was really tight turnaround. Thankfully, I was able to, in the pre-hours, kind of set all the direct capture stuff. So I won't get into it, but to get like the direct display and audio, there's equipment you have to put in the machine. So I did all that as much as I could ahead of time. But, you know, we're helping them haul machines up. If you go to our Twitter account, you'll see a photo of all of us like jammed into this freight elevator and Skip Natty like trapped in the back, unable to move behind all the pinball machines. It was pretty amazing. So we got everything set up. Final, like at the last minute, and I had a capture set up for there's a secondary screen in there for the Wonka Vision. And if you watched the stream I did before that, I streamed Hobbit, but I pulled in the display from Pirates, so I knew all like the hardware stuff on my end worked. But I had it working until we moved the machine upstairs, and then it stopped working. So it's like
that's the joy. So Kevin's giving you the joys behind the scenes of streaming and the anxiety. And I swear to God, Kevin, no matter what, it's always last minute stuff.
Oh my God, yeah. And I was like, we need early access to the games. I was working with the show organizer. I said, we need X, Y, and Z amount of time. I want a space around it so the machine doesn't get mobbed by the crowd, because we had that happen at the Pirates reveal, right? Like everybody just rushes the machines.
Did somebody trip over the cord this time?
No, what happened? So that was the big thing. Oh my God, the stream went down.
Yeah.
So what that was, I knew that was going to happen. That was inevitable because event logistics. So there was if you watch the intro part, there was a whole production company that ran that. And they had like wireless cameras and all the AV and the fancy lights and everything. They ran all that. And the only way to get from that to us was to take an Ethernet cable from their setup, manually bring it over to my computer, plug it in, and restart the stream.
Okay.
So that's why it went down.
And everybody has no patience.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. End of the world. Like it took like less than a minute to do all that. But when you got 8,000 people watching, it was like, everybody freaks out. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's to be expected. I mean, I got to see it from the other side, right? Because I was home watching it, wondering. You know, I knew you were probably panicking when it didn't start at 8, because God forbid, people.
At least they had like a countdown timer.
Yeah, they got that. I was a little disappointed. Like some pinball people in chat were just giving you a hard time. They're like, "Tell us what are the rules, or explain how to play." It's like, dude, Kevin is playing the game for the first time, a game that's just revealed where nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Just chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
All right? Like,
people were...
He's doing this for free.
Okay. Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, I watched some of that back, and I thought we had an amazing stream, because we're streaming it at an event, so we had, like, a mix of people playing, right? People stepping up to play it for the first time, but... all throughout, like Skip Danny and I were like interviewing people, like Joe Katz and Pat Lawler and Kiefer and all those guys. So it's like, what more do you want, people?
I know.
It's like,
I know.
Kiefer blew it up, got a grand.
I know who some of those people are by their names. I'm just like, really, you're pinball people. Why are you being so? Why are you this way? This is not a good look for the hobby.
I have a theory. The theory is that it got so hyped up before this reveal, people were just expecting like ridiculously unrealistic things of this pinball machine. At the end of the day, it's still a pinball machine.
Maybe. Anyways.
So the hype level was high. And I thought, the direct audio feed and the direct video and all that, big step up from even our Pirates reveal, which was great. I had a great time doing that. And we'll see.
Well, it was cool. I mean, it was cool that Kiefer played a few guys. That was fun watching. It was a treat. You had Joe Katz kind of saying what to do. Eric stopped by and played too, right?
Yep,
and
Eric.
Pat Lawler. And maybe the real star of the show was Howard. Pinball Howard.
Yeah.
Howard Dobson, man.
Dude.
This is amazing.
He was the only one that was universally loved by all of Twitch that day.
Well, you guys played a few games and you're sort of feeling it out and nothing special was happening in the play, which is understandable. It's a new game. And then Howard got up and he was just like crushing it. And we were on the front page of Twitch at that time. So how many unique views did we get that night? 250,000?
Yes, unique views. Total views for the night was like 400,000, and we peaked. Concurrent viewers, number of viewers all watching at once was just under 15,000.
So that's amazing for pinball. We should all be excited and happy for that.
Yeah, what was awesome was we were streaming in the pinball category, so it pushed the pinball category. When you go to like browse all the like top games, we were in the first like 2 or 3 lines.
That's amazing.
And so one of the biggest pinball events ever.
Yeah.
Aside from like when we did Pinball Done Quick, and then we get those massive raids from GDQ, but. Man, I couldn't have been happier with it. I was honored to be invited with it. I got to play a game of pinball with Pat freaking Lawler.
Yeah.
It was amazing. His first ever live stream game. We got to do it. What more do you want?
Well, we're a partnered Twitch channel, and that's like less than 1%, I think, of all Twitch streamers are partnered. So one of the perks is that we can get on the front page like once or twice a year, right?
Yeah.
So kind of like that. So that's another reason why we wanted to get out there and bring that to everybody, because we can showcase this debut of a new game in front of such a immense crowd.
Yeah, like it's just a great opportunity for pinball in general, and glad we were able to kind of shine a little larger of a spotlight on this pinball machine for JJP, because they deserve it. We love those guys.
Yeah. Anyways, people love Pinball Howard. Like, so non-pinball people, when they saw him, like, they were loving it. They're like, this guy is just blowing it up.
Yep.
And when he got off and somebody else came back,
where's
bring back
Howard?
Like, there was like outrage. Like, he'd come back, like, Howard's back. It was amazing. It was fun. It was fun to watch. It was funny, man.
We made a superstar out of Howard that
There
day.
you go. There you go, Howard.
Amazing. So that was like the stream. So we streamed for like 5 hours, and we did a playfield tour at the end with Joe Katz showing us everything to do. So all in all, it's like, you know, I think we covered all the bases that we could have covered for a stream.
Yeah.
So the beautiful part is, after that, I just got to chill and hang out, and we got to spend Saturday enjoying MGC, and I got to meet Zombie Yeti. I bought a t-shirt from him. I got to give him a high five because I told him I was going to meet up with him and give him a high five, and he was like, "Who's this guy? Give me a high five." But it was cool, and he gave me a cool Pinside shirt, which I will wear another time.
Okay.
Yeah, and what's cool about MGC is it's not just pinball; it's board gaming and classic arcades and console games, and it's all in all these different rooms. So you kind of walk around and explore the convention center. I like the setup of it. I got to go to they had seminars and stuff too. So we went to Scott Denisi seminar, and he talked about making homebrew pinball machines. So it was a great event. I would totally go back. Between that and Texas, it's like that Texas and Replay are like, what more do you need in an event?
So I've never been to MGC. So like the pinball, there's more than just pinball, right? Unlike Texas Pinball Festival, it's like pinball, right?
All pinball.
So MGC, is there as much pinball as in Texas Pinball Festival? Is it like, does it have that and then all the awesome other stuff, or
Not as much pinball as Texas. It's like, I would say probably, it was pretty big. Like Stern was there with Marco, and they had this massive booth with all of these Black Knight Sword of Rage and all their latest games. So it was awesome to be able to play that, both models. So they took up a huge chunk, and then Jersey Jack had their section, and there was a bunch of spooky games, and then there was like a couple rows of collector games that came in. So there's probably like maybe half of Texas amount of pinball machines, plus arcade games, plus all this other stuff.
which would you, if you had to go to one? You've been to both this year.
Yeah.
If you had to go to one again, immediate. I mean, maybe both, but like you only had to pick one. Which would you
Between that
recommend?
and Texas?
Yeah.
I'd probably go to MGC. Just
Okay,
'cause,
well.
I love pinball, but I also love all that other stuff.
I like
too,
the aspect of the board games there.
Right.
I would love that.
So it's awesome to be able to do different stuff.
Yeah.
So-
So Goran asked us if we're going to Pinfest, which is Allentown, which is well, I guess today was like set up, and then tomorrow on Saturday. I'm not going. Kevin's not going.
I need a break, man.
You got a good excuse. I used to go all the time. I went like 4 years in a row, and I'm not going this year because I was just home visiting my family in Binghamton for Easter like a week or two ago, and then I'm going to go home to Binghamton. It's just too much.
Yeah.
Right? It's too much.
Yep.
But, you know, I got to get back there sometime.
Yeah, between Texas and MGC and League and all these other leagues we do, is like, all right, time to take a little bit of a break.
RLM asked if there's dowel painting. I'm guessing there's dowel painting there. I'll bring my dowels and show what I painted. There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Should I do a dowel painting stream sometime?
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
All right, I'm a little rusty
Yeah.
when I get back into it.
Yeah.
Put some Bob Ross-esque
Hell yeah.
stuff. Yeah. I'll put a Bob Ross
There you go.
outfit on. There we go.
Get yourself a wig.
All right. Let's move along. So, what are your walking impressions? We didn't even talk about that.
We didn't. I have
Get
pictures.
excited.
We can put pictures
Okay.
and walk up. It should be right here. Hey, look, it's working so far. So this is Willy Wonka. This is the limited edition cabinet. We played the games we played were like a mix of the different art and stuff because it was all prototype stuff. But this is what the final LE will look like. It's the classic Willy Wonka, not the new Johnny Depp Wonka. I'm sorry, Johnny Depp lovers. I know we got a lot of you in the chat, but this is the game, man. It's so when I stepped up to this, I saw it when it was in that like staging room, and I was just like, wow, there's like all these shots, and let me see if I can. So there's like all these shots, and let me show. There's do I have a good shot of the back? I don't. The kind of like where the TV is, so the Wonka vision there's like 3 shots under that. There's a ramp up there you can hit with the upper flipper. There's the gobstopper toy, which is this right here, which is the most secret machine. You hit that target, and then the circle underneath there turns, and a hole opens up, and the ball locks and drops in there for a lock. So it's just packed with stuff, and it's packed with shots, but the shots are smooth. And I'm sure this came across on the stream that it's just like all these shots, but you can hit them. It's smooth and flow. There's some stop and go. And it's a standard body game. So there's tons of shots, but they feel good. They feel great. It's a Pat Lawler, one of his more flow layouts. So I think more dialed in or No Good Gophers versus like an Addams Family or a Whirlwind. It's got a good mix of both kind of play styles. Let's see. So this is on the left, the upper flipper on the left. There's a target at the back, but there's also a magnet, and there's a diverter on top. So when you hit the ramp shot, at certain times it'll divert off the ramp onto the playfield. The magnet will hold it and set it up for you to hit a shot up top. So that's one of those moments I've talked about where like I like when games surprise me, and that surprised me. I was like, oh, I've never seen that before. That's cool. The most secret machine is very cool. It's got the Wonka vision right there. It'll take your picture with the camera on the back box and put it on the Wonka vision on the screen. So some really cool innovation there. This is the Wonkavator. So one of the surprising announcements was that they were actually lowering the price of the standard edition model. And this is the thing that's taken out of the standard edition model. It's still there. Like the rule is still there software wise, but the physical ball lock isn't there. But it's kind of cool. You see it it's kind of in the back behind the left ramp, and it just sits there. So like between ball to ball, if you get these, what they call the super locks, it'll go up there and it'll sit there. And it kind of reminded me of plundering on Pirates, where like you don't want to be the one that gives this up. You want to be able to cash this out and steal it from the other people. So it brings over some of that kind of like carryover ball stealing of old that we remember from early, late 80s, early 90s pinball, which is cool. But overall the game's great. The theme, we've talked about it. Like the theme is not one that I love. It's not a movie that I watched growing up. I had seen bits and pieces of it there. Growing up, I watched it the week ahead of the event just so I could be familiar with it before the reveal. And it was cool, man. And I want to give kudos to Jersey Jack because they did a great job of coordinating all of the media for the reveal. So it wasn't just us streaming the game. Like when we went live, This Week in Pinball went live, Pinball News went live with their photos and pictures of the game. So what we were able to do was during the stream, we could say, hey, if you want to see close-up playfield shots, go to This Week in Pinball. If you want to hear an interview, go to listen to the podcasts. And so it was like this. And Straight Down the Middle also did like a close-up like playfield overview of the playfield. So
they did a good job of that, by the way, because they had interviews with Pat, and then they focus on the game and Pat. Right. They did a fantastic job.
So you got us for the gameplay. You got Straight Down the Middle for like the behind-the-scenes stuff, and you got This Week in Pinball for the close-up shots and the rules and the breakdown and deep dive. So they did a great job organizing all that, and Eric Minier was kind of the mastermind behind that. So kudos to you guys. It's great to see kind of some of that coordination. We're happy to be a part of it. Hopefully we'll get to do it again sometime. So that's MGC and Wonka.
Okay.
Good.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. So I got, let's switch back to my photos. And then I got a full screen dealio here for you. So let's pop that on. So this is other news and updates. We're going to talk about Pinball Buzz. Nick, have you heard about Pinball Buzz?
Not really.
Okay.
I think you threw something in like a chat one day and I ignored it because I was just like,
what
I
is
don't
this?
have time for this.
So apparently another pinball manufacturer has plans to release 5 pinball machines by 2021. And the first one coming up this year is a machine called Punny Factory.
Weird.
And it says, "Oh no, there's been an explosion at the Punny Factory. Help Casey gather all the punnies and get that factory up and running again."
Fuck, first you had 9/11, then you have the explosion at the Punny Factory.
I know. Jeez, watch out.
What a downer.
Wow. So watch out for the... Do you think it's going to be like puns? Like dad jokes? The dad joke machine?
But you can't see me right now. I'm shaking my head.
All right. Next was Sushi Mania. The sushi chef has gone mad and is trying to terminate the innocent sushi. Help restore order in the kitchen by controlling the wasabi and the mega sushi roll. That's coming in 2020.
Okay.
How hyped are you for that? Pretty hyped?
I can't contain myself right now.
All right. Coming up also in 2020, if a sushi game was not enough, they also have a ninja game.
Well, it sounds like it's a sequel.
Yeah.
Something wasn't resolved with the Sushi Mania.
Yeah.
And now we've gone to Ninja Mania.
The Ninja Village has gone haywire and ninjas are everywhere. It's your job to master the art of ninjutsu. Grab your katana and become the master shinobi in order to save the town.
All right.
Okay. I'm actually surprised there's not a ninja game out there already. So
Well, that is true. There's
We
a
got
Dragon
Pirates.
Fist, but it's not ninja games like
yeah,
karate.
it's karate games.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. We got pirates. We need like a good... We're due for like a Western one.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
ninjas. Like,
yeah.
come on. These are the hallmarks of childhood dreams.
Right.
Pirates, cowboys, ninjas.
We need a ninja game. So
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
Okay.
All right. And then what the hell's that called?
First Class.
First Class. The font is terrible. You got to read that one. It's getting too far away from me.
It's gonna. All right, this is an eye test. Ever wanted to travel the world? Just pick your destination, shoot for your tickets, luggage, and passports, and climb aboard. Travel enough, and who knows? One day you just might make it up to first class.
Because there's nothing that people love more than
People fucking love traveling. They love air travel.
Air travel.
Oh my god, I can't wait till I get on a plane again.
Yeah.
That was so fun. You guys heard the story last time.
Hopefully there's a screaming child.
I'm saving money for that
right,
one. 2021. Okay.
All right. And last but not least,
I got a eye test. Canada. Every wonderful what
ever wondered?
No, this is wrong on here.
Every
it's not
wondered.
me. I'm gonna read it how they
Okay.
put it. Every wondered what it would be like to be a Looney Tune Canuck. First of all, I'm gonna stop for a second.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
I have not wondered that, but I'm gonna continue
Okay.
reading. Well, grab your
Toque?
toque, a double, and a beaver, and head up to the Great White North for some super snowboarding, a kerfuffle in hockey, and a mighty moose tossing. Hey!
I just want to say we do not condone beaver grabbing. Because that's what it tells you to
Says
do.
grab your beaver.
It does.
Fuck. All right.
Uh-huh.
Jesus Christ. You gotta have a special mindset in life to start a pinball company. I swear to God.
And then they're gonna crank out 5 games by
Listen,
in 2 years.
I've seen enough of this shit. If somebody's thinking of starting a pinball company, Kevin and I will throw our hat in the ring. You can use us as consultants. We have a background in sales and marketing. All right, I think we can help a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
All right.
Some
The Ninja
advice.
one, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
All right. That maybe focus on the Ninja one.
Yeah.
Fucking traveling.
Air
On the
travel in Canada?
What is it? 1940s, where that's like a luxury or something awesome. All right. Thanks, Kevin. I didn't know that was going to be sprung on me.
There you go. I love when I can like drop stuff in.
Good job getting me fired
surprisingly.
up. All right.
All right. Let's go back to our pictures now. And where did I put it? Right here. And we're going to skip through these because it's going to reset every time I come back. And we're going to go to next. One more. Beetlejuice. Did you see this?
I saw that. Yeah.
So what did you think when you saw the Beetlejuice? So this is, for those of you who don't know, you probably have seen this before or at least heard about it. Chris Franchi on Facebook posted this concept artwork for Beetlejuice Pinball and said this was a concept that he had presented to Stern, and they were not interested in producing this. What do you think about this art and Beetlejuice as a theme for a pinball machine?
I mean, I think the art's fantastic, first of all. I love the colors of it. I mean, Beetlejuice is not like a movie I think of. I can't think of it, but I respect and I like Beetlejuice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a cool 80s movie. There's a lot of fun things that a pinball machine could do with it, with the theme and the toys. Like, there's a lot of potential. It's a comedy. There's humor.
Mm-hmm.
There's some. It's like, it's Tim Burton's world, right? A lot of weird stuff in it. I think it'd be really cool. I'd be 10's underselling. I'd be like 20 times more excited if they came out with Beetlejuice instead of Monsters, right?
Yep.
Although I don't want Stern to do Beetlejuice because they're gonna put a fucking toy on a spring on it and that's gonna be it. But because
yeah, it's a thing we've seen before.
But yeah, I mean, I think that as we're digging back through nostalgia themes and Beetlejuice would be a good theme to do for pinball.
Yeah, it doesn't have like. I don't think it has a huge following like some of the, like obviously Star Wars is going to have a much bigger following than a Beetlejuice, but for a niche game, if they're doing Monsters, they could do Beetlejuice, right? So
100%.
There you go. I think that's pretty good. So the art is good. So there's another sneak peek at a theme that may or may not someday happen. All right, let's move on to. Did you see this Matt Hardy Expedition of Gold game?
Oh yeah, so Matt Hardy's a wrestler.
Yep.
And it looks like his wife or somebody in his family did a retheme of Mustang for him and presented him that.
Yeah. Oh, but it's not just a retheme. It's like they reprogrammed this game.
Oh wow.
It's got all new rules, it's got sound
That's
effects
cool.
and music. I noticed I watched a video of it. They have kind of some of the call outs from WWE in there. So which makes sense.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of surprising they didn't retheme a WWE instead of this one, but this is a way better game, so this is a much better choice.
Yeah.
But this is quite an undertaking to redo all the cabinet artwork, redo the rules, display, music, sound, all that. This is really cool, and
It's just a one-off for this guy.
One-off for him, but
That's cool.
I can't imagine what it costs to get done, but it's great.
Nice.
They showed a little video of it. The gameplay was not that great during the video, so I'd like to. Hopefully, somebody gets to stream this sometime. If you want us to stream it, let's talk.
Who did the retheme? Do you know?
Oh, I can't remember. If you go to hardypinball.com, it's got all the info there. The guy who did all the work and everything that went into it. It's a cool website that kind of documents the whole process of retheming it. So yeah, all the inserts, you're like collecting all the wrestling belts that he collected over his career.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
Nice. Very, very cool.
pretty neat. All right. So that's that. What are we talking about next? Oh, I can give you. Oh, wait. Before that, let's talk about a little tournament update. The IFPA announced that there's a 5th major tournament now. So there's 5 ways to become a world champion in pinball now. The latest one is the Open at It Never Drains in Southern California, which is well deserved because that's, from everything I've heard, that's an amazingly run tournament, and I've from what I've seen online of the streams, it looks great. So kudos to Carl. People are calling it Papa West.
Oh,
basically.
nice.
So if you want to get a taste of the Papa style tournament format, you can head out to California in the spring and enjoy that.
All
so
right.
Congratulations to those guys. All right, it's time for your monthly Stern Insider update.
I'm excited.
Here we go.
You haven't told me this update, have you?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
You ready? You're gonna be excited
because this is Kevin. This is Kevin. How he has fun.
Yeah.
He'll say something ridiculous, and when I don't have time to kind of mentally prepare for this, and I'll just vomit out stuff that I usually don't regret. But anyways, go ahead.
You get the hot reacts.
There you go. Yeah.
So guess what I got from Stern Insider this month?
A bunch of junk. I don't know.
Bunch of emails.
Okay.
And the first one was of the Stern of the Union, which came out like an hour after they put it on their Facebook page.
So you got an after everybody.
A Stern Outsider. They told me about the Black Knight sort of rage stream like a week after that was announced.
Are you fucking kidding me?
This one I was excited about. I got an email. I think when I stopped on my way to Skip Natty's house, I checked and I saw at Stern Insider update. I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
What is this? Oh, it's the Deadpool soundtrack. Maybe Stern Insiders are getting exclusive access to download the Deadpool soundtrack.
No,
everybody got it.
I don't know why you would have thought that. That's adorable.
Everybody got it. Everybody got it.
It's like, they do this wrong, Maybe this can be different.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe this time.
So do you regret spending the money yet?
Not yet. Well, the year's not over.
We're getting our money's worth of jokes.
They could surprise me before the year's end.
This is really an investment in the stream.
It's new. And I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
That's right.
Surprise me.
That's nice. He's being fair, Stern.
They emailed me about the Deadpool tournament that's going on. And I also got an email just today about the Black Knight code update. So there you go. That's what I got for my month in Stern
They emailed you
Insider
today
Access.
about a code update for Black Knight?
Yeah.
When? Like before anybody else got a code update?
Yeah, just when everybody else did.
When's the code update coming?
It's already out.
It came out today?
Yeah, they were just saying it's already out.
All right, new update today. Okay.
Yeah.
What are we up to, do you know? I can figure it out.
0.93 or something.
Because it'll be important. So I think we were playing for this purpose when we talk about the review. We played the most recent one. It was 0.91.
0.91, yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I also don't have my shirt or like the goodie package that
you're never getting that.
Out, so there you go. So that's what, if you're not a Stern Insider, that's what you're missing out on so far.
Bunch of nothing.
There you go. All right, let's do game room updates.
Literally, I just want to, for the record, literally, there's nothing you got that other people didn't get. And in fact, you got things later than everybody else who didn't pay.
Yeah, the only thing that I could have gotten, I guess, was a T-shirt. I could have bought a T-shirt at Texas.
You could have bought a T-shirt at Texas.
Yeah.
So you paid $30 so you can buy a T-shirt.
Right.
Okay.
Exclusive access to the shirt. So there you go. Why don't you kick it off with game room updates? Since I just got done talking about
game room updates. I have really no game room updates. I'm in a holding pattern. I'm sort of good where my pinball machines are. Mm-hmm. I don't really have I don't want to swap anything out. I don't have the funds. Now I'm trying to get Martha might be in the market for like a Stern Star Trek, which I've had the LE before, so I'm not excited.
Right.
I was hoping when I heard and saw Black Knight videos of it. Was hoping that she might be interested in that. We'll talk about that in the review. Mm-hmm. But I don't have anything. Shout out though to Todd Anderson, who, if you remember last time, we had some good subwoofer talk. So Todd responded back on Pinside about that because he knew what I was talking about. He actually runs an AV site called AV Nirvana. So if you're a home theater nerd like I guess recently have become, check that out. Todd's a good guy, and I actually won a 4K Blu-ray of Bumblebee or whatever by joining that site.
Totally rigged.
Contest.
Rigged.
Hey, I don't care if it's rigged or not. I won. It's a great site. Great site. I love it.
They give you free stuff sometimes.
That's right.
Quick correction from chat. Pinball Hard says the Open is in January, so INDISC is in January.
Okay.
I think it's in spring.
So you got some updates, Kevin.
I do. I've been busy, man. It's been a busy month in pinball. So between going to MGC and doing the reveal stream and all that, I also hosted League Night. So I had to get everything ready for that. We had our monthly Three Strikes tournament, which was Monday.
Oh, shoot. You won that, too. You won that, and you won League?
We won Team League.
And you won Team League? This has been a good week for Kevin.
Yeah, so the League Night, I didn't win that night, but I'm the top qualifier at the end of the main season for our league.
So you get $50 for being top qualifier. Yes. There you go.
And we also did our Black Knight Sword of Rage tournament on Monday, right?
You did.
So that was fun. Other things I've been working on my games too. I've been inspired to install some lighting kits into some of my games that are darker. So I've got a Titan kit and a Comet kit for T2 and Adam's Family. And holy crap, do they look good. Like, you hadn't seen them before. What did you think when you...
So you're like, you got to see the lighting kit that I put in from Comet. So I'm like, all right, I've seen this Comet stuff. Like, great. I know it looks good. And I was just blown away by it. Sincerely, it looks really good. I mean, your Adams had always looked good, in my opinion. I didn't know how it could look better, but the kit so it was a prepackaged kit that Kevin bought from Comet.
Right.
For that, he threw it in there. It looks fantastic, and Comet's been a sponsor since day one that we've opened our stream up to sponsorship. It was probably like 3-4 years ago now, and there's a reason why we have them as a sponsor. Ryan does a fantastic job, and that kit was, I don't know what you paid for it, but it was well worth it.
They gave me the T2 one as a sponsorship thing, and I paid for the Adams Family one.
Okay.
They're like around $200 each, depending on how many LEDs and lights are in there. But what's cool about them is they take the time to pick the lights that look best in the insert. So if you have a yellow insert, you're probably thinking, well, I'll buy a yellow LED and put it in there. But they put pink in there, and it looks amazing. Under the play, I showed Nick. I was like, open the coin door and look under the playfield, and it looks like clown puke, like the stuff you don't want from LEDs. But on the playfield, it looks amazing. It makes everything pop. There's extra like lighting strips and spotlights that kind of fill in the middle of the playfield and dark areas of the game. So Adams is kind of a notoriously dark game, especially in the back, and it looks great. So super happy with that. And the Titan kits. I did gray on T2 and I did just black on Adams because I felt like that fit the theme. So both look great, and kind of, I was telling Nick I didn't really think I would keep T2, but now that it looks so great, I'm like, I'm never going to find one that looks as nice again. So it might stay longer than I was planning.
Okay.
There you go. What else? I think that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow, we're doing good. All right, we've got 2 reviews. Not one, 2 reviews for you guys and gals.
Yeah, so we're going to play our little intro here, and then we're going to review Black Knight, Sword of Rage.
Let's go.
All right, it's Black Knight, Sword of Rage from Stern 2019. It's designed by Steve Ritchie, art by Kevin O'Connor, software by Tim Sexton, sound by Scott Ian of Anthrax and Brendan Small. Pricing is MSRP prices are $59.99 for a Pro, $75.99 for a Premium, and $89.99 for an LE. So those street prices will be a little lower than that, but that's what they're asking for.
Yeah,
MSRP.
probably you can kind of take
a couple $100.
About $300 maybe off the each price, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like maybe $5,600 for the Pro delivered and $72 for the Premium.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So why don't we start with art, and I will pull up pictures.
And for the review purposes, this is code 0.91. So 0.93, I guess, came out today.
Yeah.
This has been out for a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So it's not like it just walked out the door, but it's relatively new. And this is exclusively reviewing the Pro one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk a little bit about the Premium because I played it at MGC, but only a couple times. So I can talk about some of the feel, the different feel of the 2 games at least.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so let's start with the art. We're looking at the back glass here, art by Kevin O'Connor. I think it's awesome. Like, it totally fits the theme. It's not like, I wouldn't say it's Zombie Yeti level of quality, but I think it's totally appropriate. Looks great, hand-drawn art. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I mean, I was so on the screen you had the back glass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks amazing. I mean, it's such a cool look to that art. More than gets the job done. I can't imagine how it can get much better than that, to be honest. Cabinet looks fantastic. I think all the models, Pro, Premium, LE, I think they all look good. I mean, it's a toss-up which one looks better. It comes almost down to like, what colors do you like in a pinball machine?
Yeah, I was looking at the 3 different models when I was setting this up, and not one of them stood out where I'm like, oh, I like this one better than the other one, or this one is not as good as the rest. They're all really good.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah,
it sucks when somebody's like in the market for, like, let's say the LE, but they like the Pro better. So you spend all that money, but in your mind, you get a lesser art package.
Right.
So, I think everybody should be happy. The playfield art is obviously incorporating the other Black Knight games. Mostly, I would say Black Knight 2000. Mm-hmm. It's got the wheel.
Yeah,
it's
the lightning wheel.
That. So it's not, it's minimalistic in some ways, but it looks really good. I mean, those colors look fantastic. It's a very attractive, eye-catching game.
Yeah, it's I can't say anything more. It's really well done. It's got the Black Knight integrated well, and some cool aspects of it, like he's got the gold at the bottom because he's taking all your money.
Yep,
give me your money.
Yeah, good stuff.
Awesome. So kudos to Kevin O'Connor on the art. All right, let's talk about sounds. Sound is like we said, Scott Ian and Brendan Small. It's got a very heavy metal sound effect, like an updated version of the classic soundtrack that you would expect, right?
I think it's very appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
It just gets you kind of high energy, so it kind of conveys a sense of excitement and just being on edge, and it goes well with how fast this game is. So it just blends with that theme very well. The excitement of the art, the sound. When I was watching a stream of it, it's sort of like it seemed like it was looping a lot.
Yeah.
And it sort of got a little bit grating. Well, that hasn't necessarily gone away, but playing it, it's not as prevalent, right? Like, I don't notice it really when I'm playing it. I don't know why. I don't know why in the stream it bothered me, and playing it, it didn't. I don't know if I had it in the home environment, if it would start to. But it's very good, and kudos to Stern for not just phoning it in, but actually going out and getting a professional, a well-known professional to do the music for it.
Yeah, this game, it like hits you in the face as soon as you hit the start button, and it doesn't let up the whole time you're playing it, right? It's like that classic Steve Ritchie, like, kick your butt the whole time. Rock and roll, heavy metal, all that, the whole time you play it. So it's a real intense experience all the way around, I think. And the music fits it perfectly and is totally right into that. And like Tony Gosa in chat mentioned, it's got the retro mode too, right? Which throws it back. You get it's an updated version of it's kind of like a re-recording of the classic soundtrack. But.
Yeah, I didn't get to hear it, the retro playing as much.
Yeah.
Do they have the I heard the chorus in there and the main part of the game, but it's sort of like somebody's whispering.
Yeah,
it's a little weird.
Pronounced.
I miss that. I mean, the cheesy chorus is, I think, something that we all love. If you like the music in Black Knight 2000, I think most people do.
Yeah.
It's that iconic kind of cheesy 80s music. I wish it was in there more.
Right.
And unless I'm wrong, I don't think it's really preserved the way it was in the original game.
Right.
But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they'll add it. But
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I sort of missed from that.
Yeah, I do like that they have at least the throwback mode to kind of pull that out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they know, like, of all the pinball music, that's got to be up there of the most iconic. It's like always being re-recorded and remixed and redone.
The whole part where the choir, you got the power, and it's like, Steve, no, like going in there, like,
you can do it.
Yeah, like that's sort of amazing when he's interacting with the chorus singers. Like it's so intense.
Yep.
It's cheesy. But it's awesome. Like it doesn't, even though the music's in this awesome, it doesn't have something that's going to be, I think, as iconic 30 years from now. The way that thing is, 30-year-old game, and we're like still talking about it and so excited about it. People are covering it on YouTube, right? I don't think anybody's going to be doing it with this game,
right?
That's a tall order, though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a knock to this game, but I wish just that aspect was incorporated a little bit more.
Yeah,
and I'm asking a lot. Maybe.
Yeah, and maybe it's coming. We don't know. It's still early, but as it stands right now, it's not all in there. Toys, dude, this has got an amazing toy.
Whoa, is this Stern who made this game?
I know.
Holy
Look at that.
shit.
Look at that.
I'm super impressed by this toy.
It's really cool.
We went from, it's kind of funny. Went from Steve Ritchie with his last game, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which, I'm sorry, that TIE Fighter thing is not a toy. That game is toyless. Mm-hmm. And then we had Game of Thrones. They had the dragon flapping, which is, it's all right. Kind of shrug your shoulders.
Barely interacts with
maybe the battering ram is a toy. Like,
yeah.
And then what was before that? What was the Steve Ritchie before that? AC/DC?
No, there was something else in there.
Star Trek.
Star Trek was in there. Yeah.
Star Trek.
It's got the ship.
The ship on a spring again. So look,
that's at least got a coil.
Yeah, that was better.
Yeah.
But like we've just gone from these totally lackluster toys, things on spring, like it's become a joke in the podcast, to this.
Yeah. So he's got in his left hand, he holds a shield that moves up and down and also like can bash the ball back. In his right hand, he holds a flail, which is a kind of a stick with two balls on the end of it, which spins both directions, and he can hold it straight up and down. So you have to bash it. So he can fight against you, or you can bash it. And then the mech itself, the face mask of the knight, it glows when he talks. So like it lights up in time with the speech. And he's got a sweet feather on his head, which is Martha's favorite feature, right?
That's right. Yeah. So a phenomenal toy. It looks cool, it lights up, and it interacts in more than one way.
Right.
Between the shield and the flail. Like, super cool. It's a super obvious thing. It's right front and center. It can pull in casual people. I think people who are cynical about toys and pinball can appreciate this. Very, very well done. Kudos to them. Looking at the art package, the sound, and the toy, I mean, they threw a lot behind this game.
Yeah.
You can tell versus like what happened with Munsters and just kind of getting panned, not great. This is a totally different story.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how that is, but it just is.
Yep. And it's really well molded, well crafted. They nailed it. This walking by this game in a lineup, you would stop, and if you're like new to pinball, you go, whoa, look at that. I want to like smash him and see what happens.
Sure.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So
and he's not even a bash toy. That's the
Right.
best part about it. He's got a target in front of him, but that's not really what he's doing necessarily.
Right.
He's fighting against you. Bash toys are just passively sitting there and you hit them.
Right.
Like it is sort of Iron Man-esque with the Monger. The Monger fought back because he had the magnet in front of him and it was dangerous hitting him. This is sort of the same thing. This guy, he's a Black Knight. He's antagonizing you and you feel like you're battling him because if that thing's spinning and you hit it, he'll send it right in the drain sometimes. So very cool.
He's doing
very dangerous to hit him too.
doing what he's supposed to do. All right. A+ on the toys. Display and lighting. Yeah, so let's talk about that. I think we can switch back to us now because we don't have any pictures of the display, but the display I think is really well done. And when the Hell Hand came up for the first time, I'm like,
oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Dude. Again, I'm like, is this Stern? Like, no offense, but again, look at Munsters, which we're mocking last time we talked about them and their Sega CD-esque graphics on there and like the 3 video clips. And then you have this, which is very well done animations. The art style's fantastic.
Yep. And it's cool because you're like battling all these different waves of bad guys, and you got the Lich Lord and the Sandworm and the multi-headed guy. I forgot the name of that one. But
it's a great game for kids, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah. Totally for kids. Play it on Sunday like we played Alice Cooper.
That's right.
Yeah, it's good. And now I lost my train of thought. But,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's all. It reminds me of Dialed In that it's like they had to create this whole world, right? You don't have these assets to like just drop video in, so you have to create all these 3D pre-rendered 3D images and create all these characters. It's like building a video game from the ground up with an original theme that you don't really have any assets for. So you got to do the character design, the animations, the sound, all that. Even the whole concept behind it is all brand new, right? So they put a lot of effort into this, and it looks great.
Yeah, this is really Stern's first original game. I mean, like, let's not looking at Wonelli, because they sort of bought Wonelli, right? Like that was an in-house game.
Yeah.
And they've done sort of boutique stuff on the side, but this is a real game, right? And this is their first original game since like
High Roller
2000.
Casino,
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah. So this is a departure. They've said no original games, but Steve Ritchie, so he got one. Very cool. They did a fantastic job with that.
Yeah. So, and Sharky Shootout and Striker Extreme, yes, we know that there are others, but it was a long time ago. Yeah, so it's great. Any thoughts when it comes to lighting? What stands out to me is like the lightning wheel. The effect on the lightning wheel is really cool.
I think you forgot the gate too in the back. The fire gate. There's 60 LEDs they said or something like that in
awesome
there.
looking.
It like burns. The lights are really well done and coordinated in this game. So hats off to Tim Sexton. I know in the interview he was trying to program things to be reminiscent of the Black Knight 2000 and stuff. Lighting is very, very well done, and like the coordination and the choreography, very good in this game.
Yeah, the first time I saw the fire go off in the back panel, you're like, whoa, that's awesome. And it totally fits the theme and like the whole I guess the ambiance of the game. It really ties it together. So yeah, the lighting's really well done too. All right, let's talk gameplay.
Yeah,
this game's an ass kicker, right?
Yeah, it's a tough game, but once you sort of get used to it, you can avoid some of the dangerousness of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you miss a shot, it could drain. You do get a chance to recover. It's very fast. I think that almost an issue with this game is there's a lot of air balls.
Yeah,
like more than should be allowed. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it will settle down over time, but way too many air balls. That's the one nitpick. But it's a Steve Ritchie game. You can backhand all the shots, right? It just feels good to shoot. It's that it fits into the theme of just being brutal at times. It's got an Iron Man-esque adrenaline and brutality to it, which I really respond to in a game.
Yeah, you feel like you're fighting the Black Knight, really. Right? You've got certain games like where it's a more casual feel. When you compare like Wonka and this, it couldn't be more different, right? Wonka's like a family feel. The shots. I was talking to Pat Lawler about it, and he said he designs the shots so like the ramp, the flipper should just make it up the ramp, so it gives the casual player time to appreciate the fact that they made a shot, right? Versus a Steve Ritchie game, which is like, all right, you made the shot, you better be ready because it's coming back and you're gonna have to react, and or if you miss your shot, like a lot of the shots begin about halfway up the playfield on Black Knight. So if you hit those posts, you're in trouble. You got to be ready to react.
It has something in the game that I've been saying for years. When are we going to see somebody bring back the MagnaSave?
Yep.
And because it's Black Knight, well, it has got a MagnaSave, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But the downside is, I think everybody hates this that I've seen her talk to pretty much. Even people who try to defend it are
like
sort of
unprompted. Like people, like
oh my
people
God.
in our league are like, why is it?
People are like, fuck this. Like I was just watching because I was running the tournament, and like people who don't normally nitpick things just I was surprised by the amount of frustration. So they made the decision, instead of putting the MagnaSave button where it traditionally is next to the flipper button, the right flipper button, they put it where they've been putting, on the lockdown bar. And the reasoning behind this, I think Tim was saying on Coast to Coast, is because they want it there because that's where casual players will see it or something like that. This makes no sense to me because casual people don't know what the heck's going on anyways. I don't think it makes a difference. But the people who really do care are people who understand MagnaSaves, and it's a pain in the ass to hit. I mean, you just cannot... You have to react so fast to be able to utilize a MagnaSave when it is normally located on the right side of the cabinet, right? That's tough enough.
Yeah.
But now you have to take your hand away from there, bring it over, and try to hit it. And it's just not happening.
You almost have to plan ahead so far that you're using it maybe when you don't even really need to. Like
that's what you'd have to do.
When it goes over there, just hit it and use it because it's there, and maybe not because it's necessarily going out. It may have gone in. The excuse that it's there and they wouldn't see it on the sides, or the reasoning, I should say, is it's kind of contradictory because on their last game, the Premium and LE has extra flipper buttons on the side of the cabinet.
Right.
The Munsters has 4 flipper buttons for the Premium and LE. So
yeah, I don't get it.
If they can figure it out on that game, but not the other game, I don't know.
I watch people play pinball, and on Monday when the tournament, like everybody was just super pissed off about it. And so it was kind of comical.
Yeah.
When it was like, what is this here? Like, yeah, it's tough. It's kind of a letdown. Yes, it's got MagnaSave. Oh, they put it on the apron button. So sort of, I don't know, neuters it. I mean, you're not. I was able to use it here and there, and we'll all adjust to it.
Yeah.
But we all know it's not ideal. People in chat were talking about this, and I saw this in Pinside. Like, I'm going to drill a hole in the cabinet. Yeah, you could. Who wants to drill a hole in the cabinet? To move a button. You shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah. Maybe it would be pretty easy to do, right? It's just moving a button over to the side, but still.
All in all, awesome gameplay. I rather the MagnaSave be in there and on the apron button than not in there.
Right.
So thank you, sir, for doing that. That's cool. That's it. I think that's it for gameplay for me.
Yeah.
All right.
It's fast. It's. I was surprised at first that it only had one ramp. From a gameplay perspective, usually it's like a Richie game you would be able to kind of like combo ramps and stuff.
We should talk about that. I mean, it's got one ramp. I mean, if it had 2 ramps, would it be Black Knight and the way Black Knight operates, right?
Yeah.
It's a very barren playfield.
Yeah.
I mean, you take that toy out there, you're like, what is in this? But it's fun to shoot, and I don't necessarily miss not having a ramp.
Yeah.
And this is spilling over to rules, though. I did feel like I was doing the kind of the same maneuver over and over again. Hitting that shot that is the ramp and then backhanding it into the mode start or mystery ward or whatever. I was doing that maneuver a lot.
Yeah, and some of the feedback I've heard is that it feels very right flipper heavy. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with not in the way Black Knight 2000 is, but I didn't feel like I was hitting a lot of shots in the game.
Yeah.
Now, that might be because of lack of rule knowledge or lack of my play style. But since we're spilling over rules, I mean, I was able to get to the wizard mode in less than 10 games on it, my second day playing it. And I didn't feel like, some games where you're just like shooting everything on the game and you're shooting a ton of shots. It didn't feel like that. It felt very samey.
Yeah. What I noticed was like some of the modes where it would be like 3 shots lit, but they would move around. So like if you wanted to just wait and hit the left ramp, you could wait till it moves over.
You could, yeah.
We played 0.91 code, so that could get updated, but we'll see.
Yeah, and we're feeling our way out. Maybe like, what I was doing to get there or doing is like, no, you're missing the point. Like you need to be doing this, and this, and that's the better strategy. So you should be using right. So I don't know, but I literally felt like I got to the wizard mode by just doing like 2 shots kind of deal.
Right. All right. So that takes us into the rules. So let's talk about the rules and the overall, what are we trying to do in the game? How do we start the multi-balls? That sort of stuff.
Yeah. So the story is, right, you're going to the land, like around the land of the Black Knight or whatever, these corrupted areas, and you're fighting monsters. And then it's a mode-based game. There's 6 modes, with the 6th mode being the Black Knight.
Yep.
And that's sort of the mode wizard mode, right? That's how I understand it.
Yep.
So yeah, it is a mode-based game. Hit a shot. To qualify the mode, start the mode. Mode's like hit these shots and it's time. So either you complete or you run out of time, and then it's like hit a couple shots to qualify the mode and start a mode again.
Right.
I got to the end pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Would you say? I mean,
yeah, you got it there
long.
during our launch party. It's on the stream if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, you can see it. And I don't even know if it was weird when I got to the Black Knight because it just like ended on its own.
Yeah, you got like 10 million points or something, and then it was over.
Yeah, like I didn't drain or anything. It wasn't a multi-ball. There seemed like there was an intro, but it didn't seem like I got to something really special, right? It wasn't like as we talk about times, like a pinball moment.
Right.
I didn't feel this big moment that oh my God, it's the Black Knight. Like, I don't, hopefully there's more fanfare, something amazing happens, or it's a multi-ball, or something to differentiate it.
Right, and one of the things we didn't talk about when we were talking about sound was the call-outs from Steve Ritchie and Ed Robertson.
My God, how we forget that?
Steve Ritchie, like, dude, he nailed it on this game.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they have an upgraded sound system or something, but there's a lot of bass in this game when he talks.
Yeah,
it sounds amazing.
It sounded really good.
Yeah, so like you want, like when you get to the Black Knight at the end, you want him just like taunting you and giving you all sorts of shit.
Yeah,
that's what he does. So it's like, I'm sure it's coming, but and Steve Ritchie is not one to kind of hold back on the call outs. He likes to be heard. So it's great sound effects and call outs, and good job, Ed. You did okay too.
Yeah, you did good. You did good. So
anything else with the rules? The multi-balls, like backhand the stand-up target, put it in the lock.
Yeah, so the other thing is, I like to compare games to other recent games, especially games you can buy right now. So this is a 6 mode base game. So let's talk about that compared to like Maiden. Okay. So what I found in playing Black Knight sort of Rage is that it felt very samey. Every time I played it, I felt very much like I was playing the same thing. And I went from like, it was like a honeymoon period where I accepted the game. It was a beautiful presentation. It was amazing shooting it, blah, blah, blah. I loved it. I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I can convince Martha to get this, right? To like, I was bored of it by Monday. And maybe that's just me and it's early. But it felt very samey, and there was like, there's one multi-ball that you probably will get to it in the game, and then if you do well in the modes, and you'll spell Knight, and that's like the retro multi-ball. So as far as I can tell, there's only 2 multi-balls in the game. Okay, so again, early, I might be wrong or out of my mind, but there's like 2 multi-balls in the game, and you're most likely will maybe see 1 and then maybe 2 if you focus on it and do well. My problem rule-wise is that, let's look at Maiden. So Maiden has Mummy. It's got the where you drop targets and actually lock the ball, so that's 2. Then it's got
that's Trooper multi-ball, right?
Then it's got the Ramen the Ancient Mariner, and then it's got the airplane one.
Yep.
So that's 4. Ace is high, and then is one of the mini wizard mode or wizard modes is a
from all the power things.
The power things,
cyborg multi-ball.
Yeah, so there's a lot.
Yeah,
and like I was just sort of feeling like it was lacking, or like I'm always going to do the same multi-ball. Whereas like you step up to Maiden, you don't know which multi-ball you're going to like at first. Maybe you'll start the mode multi-ball, right? It's like a 2-ball multi-ball, or maybe you're going to go for drops, or maybe you're going to bring in Mummy. Or then maybe you're going to get to the wizard mode and that's going to happen. Right. So there's a lot more variety in there. It was starting to feel a little stale compared to that. And it's easy to compare in some ways because that is like a 5 or 6 mode based game as well. So you can kind of look at those two. They're the same price. You can buy them both now. And you got to start making decisions like that, right? What are you going to get? So hopefully we see more development. It's at 0.91. Maiden had that stuff out of the gate, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully we see more in there. I mean, I can almost maybe one of the modes is a 2-ball multi-ball, something like what Maiden did, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
It just needs a little more to be something special.
Yeah.
It's not the something special yet. And when we talk about this, it might be fun on location to play a few games, but I think a lot of people listening to this are people who buy a game or put a game in their home. And I need a game that's gonna have, well, we're gonna get to that, but something that I'm going to keep around for a long time.
Yeah,
nothing goes in my basement, right?
Yeah,
like easily these
unless
days.
It's going to stay there for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I hope it takes more of the trajectory of like a Deadpool or Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not as incomplete as those were when they came out.
Correct.
But seeing where they started and what they got to, they did a great job kind of bringing those games around. And hopefully they have plans to do the same for Black Knight. Hopefully it's selling well enough that they stick with it and really kind of push it into something amazing.
I'd be interested to see how it does on location. I think, people that I talk to and they're excited about it. Like, it's got really good curb appeal. So it's got that initial, people are going to be drawn into it. Let's see if they stay with it, right?
Yep.
That's the question. So why don't you talk a little bit, before we go to lastability, why don't you talk about the premium? Because you've played that and I haven't.
So kind of the consensus has been that people prefer the Pro, and I agree with that. The upper playfield, it's interesting, but and it's cool. It's like what you think of when you think of Black Knight, because the original Black Knight was one of the first games with an upper playfield. Black Knight 2000 also had the split double playfield. But there's really just not that much to do on it. And it goes up there a lot. So like, think of how many times you hit that left ramp on when you're just playing the Pro, like all the time. Mm-hmm. Every time you would shoot that shot, it would go up to the upper playfield. And there's also a diverter to kick it up to the upper playfield. Yeah. So, and you get up there and you kind of bounce it around a little bit, and it doesn't have the war lanes anymore. Yeah. So that was cool. And you could kind of bounce it up off of that to get it to that flipper, so you could make another shot at the lock shot.
Yeah, that's Black Knight 2000.
Right.
Yep.
On this one, it would go up there, and if you missed your shot, it just kind of like dribbled down, and it gives you back to your flipper. So it's not real exciting to be up there. Yeah. And I don't know, like rules wise, other than starting the multi-ball, what are you going to do up there?
There's an extra multi-ball. It's like catapult multi-ball, right? But it doesn't even, it just like sort of physically locks it, but doesn't even shoot it out like a catapult. It just sort of like dribbles it out.
Yeah. So the other issue we had on the one machine, actually I think two of the games at Midwest we played, the left ramp on the premiums weren't working right. So you'd shoot it up there and it wouldn't even register the shot. So that didn't help either. But I don't think the upper playfield is compelling enough to pay the premium on this.
Well, it's good that the people like the premium's a lot of fun. Yeah. Right. So that's the good news. Like, because when you talk about going from a Pro to premium, you're talking like $1,600. Right. So you got to ask yourself, you're paying for an upper playfield. Is one flipper and a ball lock up there $1,600 worth? And maybe it is.
If you're a Black Knight purist, you're probably going to go for it.
There's that thing, right? If you're a purist.
If you got the other two in your collection already and you want the third one to go buy it, you're probably going to buy this one, right? So I would say stick with the Pro. If you're a purist, you want the full like Black Knight experience thing, go for the premium or the LE, but the Pro, there's plenty of fun to be had in the Pro for the Pro price, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So lastability, probably one of the most important category.
Yeah. For home collectors, for sure. Yeah.
Right. It's a huge tilt on, I think, the review value. What do you think, Kev?
It's to be determined, right? I don't think it's there yet. You're gonna have your 5 modes and a couple multi-balls, and that's about all it's got to offer right now. Maybe there's more on the way. Hopefully there's more on the way. But I don't see this game having a ton of lastability. And not that every game has to have a ton of lastability. I've mentioned this before. Like, I have games I have a space shuttle. It's like, if you like classic games, they're great too. But this is a brand new machine. You're spending $6,000 on it at a minimum. And you're going to be hauling it into your basement. Are you going to want to bring it in there and leave it there?
Right. And something would have to leave, for me. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Right now, as of today, with the 0.91 code, 0.93 just dropped. I doubt there's huge drastic changes. But as of today, as of the review, as of the game came out, it just seems pretty low on the lastability. I hate to say it, I got kind of, the honeymoon phase is over with me, and it lasts like a day with that. And that's not good, because when you're competing with a lot of other games out there, we've just gone really deep of code, right? Yeah. So the expectation for a game and depth and lastability is much higher, and that's because of you've got more sophisticated players these days who understand that they have rules and they've gotten better and skill wise, and also people are buying it for the home market. So in the home market, you want a game that's just going to keep you engaged for a long time. Now, when I got my first game, which was Iron Man, there's not a lot of depth in the rules there, but it's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So you can get a game and you can have a lot of fun. And that was like my favorite game for 3 years. Mm-hmm. I was sort of just beginning my pinball career, if you will,
pinball
learning
journey,
things. I'm more my tastes have changed significantly in terms of what I look for in a game. But yeah, I think I look for a lot more in terms of depth if I'm going to buy a game like that.
Yeah, and when you consider games that aren't deep, like Tron is not a deep game at all.
That's
but
true.
To get to the end of Tron is hard.
Right.
So you're not doing it all the time. So it's like, it doesn't have to be a super deep rule set as long as it's challenging enough to stay interesting over
There's
time.
also 2 wizard modes in that too.
Right.
So like you might get to that. And
See a simulation.
yeah. Like Iron Man does that as well. You
Right.
know, like there's levels to that. So there's always like something
You
more.
want that carrot out there.
Right.
Dangling out. You don't want to get the carrot on your first month of owning the machine, right?
Well, with like let's look at Maiden again.
Yeah.
This is an easy example. Same company, recent game, right? So what Maiden does is that not only you play the modes and you gotta get all the modes to get to one of the wizard modes, but you gotta perform well enough in one of the modes, and that unlocks like another mode and level to play, right? So there's a lot of these kind of mini wizard modes going on. There's just so much to kind of go for.
Yep. And that's what you want,
Right.
Ideally.
Yeah, so maybe we'll see like a code evolution where it's like you don't just play the mode, but if you complete the mode and you can go back and actually defeat the monsters rather than just kind of fighting them, then that's going to give you a wizard mode. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. I mean, that's what we do see with a lot of these games, but as of right now, it's not in there. So hold on to your walls, maybe.
Exactly. All right, so let's go to, where am I going over here? I'm going to the website, and we're gonna do right here, interact. And then we're going to scroll down and we're going to see our review scale. So our score key is from 0 to 2, you should burn it. From 3 to 5 is an expensive night late. From 6 to 8 is a solid game. 9 to 10 is a get your wallets out.
All right.
Where do you stand on Black Knight sort of rage?
Well, this is no doubt, this is a solid game. I mean, I stood up to, I was really impressed. I mean, you can just listen to the first part of this review and just hitting all the marks: art, sound, toys, display, lighting, gameplay, right? There's the basis of the rules there. It's a solid game. It's just nothing that I'm thinking, man, I gotta put this in my collection, right? And then when we talk about games like that, that's reserved for like a 9 and 10. So I think it's a 7.5 right now. If we see some outstanding rules that matches the level of other games that are out there that we talk about being some of the best modern games, then this game could easily be in the 9, right? High 8, 9.
Yep.
7.5 for me right now.
Yeah, I think I'm right there. I'd give it an 8 right now. I think it's got everything except the polished code. So,
okay.
So it's right on the doorstep of getting your walls.
Always giving it 1/2 more than me.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm the good guy. You're the bad guy.
Yeah, so you're like, what is it? You go first, Nick. Let's see where you come in at.
All right. We can switch it around for the next game.
We'll write it down. We'll write it down so you can't switch it.
That's what we should start doing. All right. So there you go. Solid game. Enjoy it. Good job, Stern. And we'll look forward to seeing where the code goes from here.
All right.
All right. So
next up,
we're going to do, we'll play the review intro again for our next review because we're going to split these up on the,
that's right,
on the YouTube channel. So here we go. We're going to be reviewing Alice Cooper's Nightmare Castle.
Let's go.
And now the mic's on. All right, we're reviewing Alice Cooper's Nightmare Castle. It's a Spooky Pinball 2018 release, and it's a design by Charlie Emery. David Van S is on the art. Software by David Fawcett, and sound by Matt Montgomery and Alice Cooper. MSRP on this is $64.50. So, and nothing gets the chat fired up more than when you don't remember to turn your sound on.
That's right.
There you go. So
2 for 2 at this point.
Making sure you guys are paying attention out there. All right, so why don't we start talking about the art, and you can get started on that while I pull up the photos.
All right, so I feel like this is deja vu from talking about Black Knight sort of rage. The art is fantastic on this game. I think they did such a good job in the art style. I love the colors. I mean, that comes down to preference, but that looks fantastic. I don't know who did the art on this.
David Van S.
Yeah, he crushed it.
Yeah,
this is a really good looking pinball machine.
It's beautiful, and the one we recently played on the stream had the butter finish on the cabinet. It just makes it look so.
It's got like they're going sort of for like this comic book art style, I'd say. Is that fair?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, this is top notch art.
Even the display, which we'll talk about later, has a very comic book feel. It feels like you're flipping through the pages of a comic book. The playfield has a different style, but I still like it. It's got more of a light blue kind of feel to it, I would say. Less comic booky, but I think it works. It's not quite that busy.
Yeah. I love it. I love this art style. This art package is very attractive. Really like what they did here.
We don't want to see him yet. Yeah, it looks great. There's nothing more that can be said about the art. It's beautiful. It's one of the best pinball art packages of all time, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
I really do.
All right, sound. So sound is, if you like Alice Cooper, you might like the sound in this game, right?
The sound in Alice Cooper.
If you like Alice Cooper, that's my objective review of the sound in Alice Cooper.
Yes. I think you kind of put it right there. I mean, Alice Cooper did some call outs for it. Mm-hmm. The weird thing is there's like no jackpot call outs.
Well, unless you have Jeff Worth with you.
Right. But like, it was just bizarre to not have any jackpot call outs. I mean, that's like standard. So they gotta put some jackpot call outs in there. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Like there's, you just hit stuff and you don't even know, like there's a sound effect that corresponds to it, but like you don't know you're hitting jackpots unless you look at the screen, right?
Yeah, I did find myself wishing there was more audio direction as far as
more cues,
the things you needed to do while you were playing. There was some of that, like he would occasionally say, go for the scoop or something like that, but hopefully they have more of that recorded and it's just not implemented yet. But like, for example, the cold ethel mode, when you had to get it to the upper playfield and then drain it through that little hole, like I would not know that.
Right.
Until I've played it a whole bunch. And
there's something to be said about call outs that are not like overly like telling you what to do. Like,
yeah, you don't want to go Houdini style, yeah.
But this game there's definitely room for it to kind of say what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah, and be a little more interactive with the thing. But it's a good package. Again, if you like Alice Cooper, you're going to like it. There's that really bizarre rap song in the vampire mode, which is just sort of like, I almost want to say it's so bad it's good, but it's just so bad it's so bad. Like, like kind of deal, like just bizarre.
It was hilarious the first couple times, and then it was just like, okay.
Just if you want to see a hot take of like just a reaction, just go watch our stream on YouTube of it. Probably the last like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
When we're playing a game, and you can just
watch for Nick playing, and he gets through like 2.5 full loops of the song.
I was ready to go home. no joke. I was done.
Yep. Some of the call outs, like, I know there's been criticism of Alice's like enthusiasm in the callouts, and I don't find that to be a problem. It's just like some of the lines are super cheesy.
Well, that's like a spooky game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they have a certain sense of humor. It's not necessarily my humor that I go for, so it's going to be, I guess, hit or miss of what they go for on that. I know it doesn't
personal preference, right?
Yeah, it's going to come down to personal preference. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
I just don't like it. It's sort of like neutral about it. Right?
There was one that I remember going, that was bad.
Okay.
But the rest of them were cool, and it's kind of like they got this like campy humor, I would say, to it.
It's cool that they got him in there, but
yeah. And you want Alice doing the custom callouts, and they did that. So good job. I just hope I wish some of the writing was a little different. But that's again, objective, not.
I was probably fighting other battles and just missed that.
Exactly. Yeah. Dad jokes the pin, pretty much.
Dad jokes the pin. Oh, jeez.
So we talked about callouts and music and sound effects. So there we go. Toys. Let's talk about toys. So we're looking at the upper playfield here right now. There's a lot on this game. There's I would say probably the major toy is the guillotine, right?
I guess. It's not very big. It's small.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
like,
not prominent.
You have to kind of, it's not like, okay. It's not black. You see Black Knight, you're like, that's a toy. You see a lot of games in a toy. Like you kind of have to look for the toy in this. But that's only because they have a lot of like molded stuff, which is really nice. Like it's a nice touch that they have molded stuff all over the game.
Yeah.
Right. To give it some like 3D-ness and to give it some depth. The guillotine is just, it kind of gets lost in there. And it's kind of small, but it's something. It's nice.
Yeah. I was able to get it going at one point, and then like the mode that starts after the guillotine drops is pretty cool. So the head's getting thrown all over the place. The other thing is Frankenstein. Where is he? There he is.
I didn't even know he was in the game until it was pointed out to me, and then you showed me it.
That's because he's hiding.
He is hiding.
Yeah, he pops out when you get the multi-ball going.
He's like a strobing light.
Here I am. Yeah, he needs
like a light on him.
Bam. But yeah, that's he's a molded toy, custom toy.
He's got a lot of fur.
He hides behind the hides behind the castle, and then when you start the multi-ball, he pops out. But
cool.
I do wish there was a spotlight on him. It reminds me of like the bicycle girl on Walking Dead. It's like, it's cool, but I need to see it.
Yeah, it's all you have a cool toy and then you sort of bury it in a way. I know people who are close to things like this get mad when you say that. How could you not see that? It's like, well, if you don't know it's there, I'm missing it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell you.
Yeah. So those are the two major toys. It's also got there's a bunch of scoops and drop targets and stuff like that, but not traditional toys.
Right.
All right. So let's talk about the display and lighting. So the display is a home run, I think.
Oh yeah. Really good display. I love the art style in this.
Yeah.
Like, again, comic book art style.
Yeah.
Really well done.
But art style on the cabinet doesn't always necessarily translate into amazing display art either.
No, it doesn't.
And they did a good job of bringing I guess there's actual like Alice Cooper comic books that they kind of modeled this after.
Okay.
And that was the right way to go, because you could easily envision them just like dropping footage of Alice Cooper playing at a concert into the display, and they did not do that.
Wisely,
at all.
they did not do that.
Yes.
So nicely done. Very good.
Yep. It's you're battling monsters. You're not like, it's not like pick a song and then play the song. It's there's a story here, right? So I like the overall like concept, and that plays well into the display. They did a good job with that. The only thing that I've never really noticed on spooky games that I noticed on this one, and it must have been because of the way they had the positioning of the scores, is that the display is kind of set back in the back box a little bit.
It was cutting out some of the scores.
And if you're tall, it was making it so you couldn't see the very top of the scores. So
right, but that's something they can certainly fix.
Yeah,
and it should be easily adjustable.
I mean, you can just look, bend down and see the scores, but maybe consider moving those down a little bit.
Yeah,
to fit the display and the way the back box is offset.
Agreed.
What else? Lighting. The lighting? I don't know. I don't see lighting as a like a huge, aside from TNA. TNA does an amazing job of choreography and lighting.
I really don't remember anything of the lighting in this game.
I don't. This game does not hit that level of choreography and lighting.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
And that's a hard standard to live up to, right? Because TNA is one of the best.
Now, that's not saying anything bad about it. It's just forgettable, I would say.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not like... I don't... Yeah.
There wasn't like a wow moment like with Black Knight when you're like, ooh, look at the fire or the wheel doing something
it doesn't
cool.
stand out like some games, right?
Yeah. Gets the job done. Gameplay. Let's talk about gameplay. So this game has a lot of shots. And
don't tell the Pinside forum fans that it has too many shots in it, because they would disagree with you a little bit. But I'm going to do it anyways. There's too many shots in this game.
There's a lot.
Listen, these are like the tightest shots in any game.
Except for Houdini.
They've packed... Yeah, I mean, we can have that debate all day. I feel like, man, if they just took out one shot, it would be a good move, and just space things out a little bit more, make the shots a little wider. Now, I will say this: in playing the game, the shots were findable. Okay, it's not that the shots are bad. Like, I've played some games where, like when you play a game and you're trying to hit a shot and it's just never on the flipper where you think it's going to be, and you're like, what is wrong? Like, I think it should be here in the flipper. I think I should flip then. It doesn't go there. You can just never find it. That's not the case.
Right.
These shots are findable. They make sense. They're good shots. There's just too many of them. So what that means is if you're not like 100% precise, you're gonna brick it. And there's a lot of bricking going on because we're not all 100% precise. We have our good days, bad days. There's different skill levels in players, and there's a lot of bricking that can go on, and that's not fun.
Yeah.
Too much bricking for my taste. Too tight for my taste. Now people might love that this is a super tight game. There's not a lot of games that are super tight like this, and this might be a godsend to them. My preference is, and my thought is, just if they took out one, it would have been significantly better.
Yeah. So my overall impression of the gameplay is that I like that it's something unique, right? Because it's not
absolutely. Don't get me wrong, absolutely
not 2 ramps and 2 orbits and a bash toy, right? So I love that about it. The shots, like you said, they're tight but findable. If you get the game going and you're dialed in, then things are going well. But when they're not going well, they're not going. Like, I watched some of the stream back that we did, and I started a multi-ball and I hit like nothing during the whole multi-ball.
That's not good, right? That's the problem.
Like you wanna be hitting ramps and stuff during multi-ball. It's like not just survive through it and hopefully save one ball when you're done. So yeah, it's challenging to the point where like I don't know, it takes the fun out of it. Like we're saying in the chat, it's like the brick shots, you're hitting posts, it's coming back, you're fighting it. You might like that in a game. I tend to agree with Nick that just a little more space on these shots would just make it that much better.
Yeah, I like the uniqueness of that. Don't get me wrong, and the geometry of the shots aren't bad. Like they make sense and you can find them. It's just if you took out one, I think this game would be so much better.
Yeah. Or you get the 3 stand-ups in the middle where the start the monster.
That's taking up a lot of real estate.
Yeah, shrink that a little bit, widen out the shots a little bit. Put 2 stand-ups in there instead of 3, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Not that I'm a playfield designer, but...
but like when you're playing it, like I got that feeling like it just... When you're just brick, and you're not getting anything, it's not like you're just hitting other targets that are progressing. It's not fun. Like I'm not... In that moment, I'm like, I'm not having fun doing this.
The other thing is a lot of shots feed to the upper playfield, and it's hard to keep it up there. So it's hard to get it there.
Very much so.
And then when you get it there, it's not easy to do what you need to do. So a lot of times you're like, yes, I finally got it up there. And then it doesn't go where you need it to. So you're like, crap, I just spent like the past 5 shots trying to get it up here. And now I got to do it again.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because this is going to spill over into rules. But there are a couple modes I can think of where you need to go up there. Probably more than a couple. But all right, you got to get up there, and let's talk about the vampire mode, which was really fun to watch me play that on the stream. If you want to see a live reaction of me playing the game, that's a good moment to get to. So it's like, okay, here you are in this mode, and you got to get up top. There's one kind of tight shot up in the upper playfield. Now, there's 2 ways to get up there. There's the left and the right ramp. And the game, the lights are indicating, okay, go up top and like choose either ramp. The problem is the left ramp like never fed it to the flipper because when it goes in there, it just like hardly ever goes to the flipper.
It didn't go where you needed it.
Even the right ramp, getting it up there was hard to get it on the flipper. So really, you're hitting this right ramp and you're trying to capture and keep on the flipper.
Yeah, you want to trap it when it goes up there.
And then if you miss the shot, chances are it's going to come back down. So I got into this, what is it, Sisyphus, when he's pushing the thing up the rock up the hill and come falling down and hitting him. That's what was going on for about 15 minutes on the stream. I'm not getting any points. If it would go up there, I'd finally get up to the upper playfield, and then it wouldn't land on the flipper, so it goes back down. Then I got to capture it. Then I got to get up there again. It wouldn't go back down. Then I would get on the flipper, and I'd miss the tight shot, and then I would go back down. And the problem is, as we get into rules, is that this game makes a sort of an odd choice in that the modes don't have timers to them. You're locked in a mode. So the only way that you get to progress in that mode is if you complete the mode or you drain.
Right.
So I was stuck on this mode probably for 10 minutes. Trying to hit 3 shots. I hit a shot, I hit another shot, and then didn't do it. And it was an infuriating experience. And there's a reason that pinball games don't do this, that they put timers on modes. You can reward a player by, if you complete the mode, then you give them a lot of points, or it might carry over to wizard mode, or, like wizard mode scoring, like on Star Trek, right? Like Kobayashi gives you more points.
Pirates.
Right. Or or go to a secondary wizard mode or something. This makes an odd decision. I can't think of another game that does this where you are locked in that mode until you drain or do it. And you got a tight game. You're trying to hit things on the upper playfield where you cannot get the control you want. It's a bit frustrating, to say the least.
Yeah, and it's not even that you have to complete the mode when there's no timer. There's like nothing else to do in the game when you're in the mode. That's it. Maybe you can go for the multi-ball, the cold ethyl multi-ball to bring that in.
Yeah.
But that's it, right?
That's one.
And sometimes that makes it harder to accomplish your goal because you're trying to manage 2 balls now instead of 1, right?
Yeah.
So in like the insects mode where you're trying to hit the stand-up targets, that's a good strat to go for that. Bring in the 2 multi-balls or the 2-ball multi-ball and then try to hit all the stand-ups. Right.
I mean, the funny thing is, in that vampire mode, I got like 3 multi-balls going the same 3 multi-ball over and over again, and I still didn't finish the mode. Like I was hitting like the multi-ball shot, right? Like it's just, I was like in jail, basically, game jail.
Yeah. And again, we don't know if that's going to stay or be modified coming up, but
yeah, if they fix that, that'd be. If there's one thing they could fix about the game, right? We're not taking out shots now. That ship has sailed, but this is fixable.
Yeah,
and that would make in my book, this would definitely increase the fun of this game, no doubt.
Yeah, you don't want to be trapped, and especially when you're struggling to make a shot. Like,
Yeah.
all right, well, that's all I got to do now.
The other thing, and I'm going to ask you this, James said it, and it still doesn't seem. I know he's right about it. I can't believe this, but basically, you get to the wizard mode, and that's it. It just ends the game after that.
Apparently, yeah, it's like total nuclear annihilation when you get to the end, and that's the end of the game.
Yeah, I'm like, I hear that about. I would never buy a game like that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want the game to end because then it's like scoring is sort of like pre-planned, right? It's almost like a video game. What I like about pinball is that it never ends. Like you can keep on going. You can always better your score infinitely, right? If you can play like all day, you're going to get a better score. This, if you play all day, you're going to beat it and it's going to end at some point.
But aren't you like, when you get to the wizard mode, I'm kind of done. Like, I don't want to keep playing the game after I finish the wizard mode.
I don't want it to shut off though, because it is still about scoring, getting a high score at the end of the game. At the end of the day,
you'd have to be more strategic about it, in that, like, okay, I don't want to like progress through all the modes without getting as much of a
so
score.
I'm just going to play multi-ball all day, so I don't get to the wizard mode, and so the game doesn't shut off on me.
Yeah,
like,
I think I appreciate that there's this new school of thought when it comes to, like, there's the end of the game. It gives you a different way to approach it. Like, so you could try to speed run the game, or you could, think of like Donkey Kong. Like, there's an end of Donkey Kong, right? But people try to maximize the score they get before they get to the last level of Donkey Kong. So there's like, it brings a new way to play the games. It's you equates it more like a classic video.
But you can still do that,
right?
You like, it can do that on any pinball machine. You can say, when I get to the wizard mode ends or whatever, I drain. Like, that's it. Like, even though the game keeps on going on, I can play. Yeah, that's gonna be my speed run competition. Like, you don't need the game to do that for that to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's especially with TNA, it totally makes sense when you're going through and you're defeating the 9 reactors. Defeat the 9 reactors, that's it. You did it. You beat the game, right? And I wouldn't want to see it in every pinball machine, but I kind of like the variety of it.
Okay.
So
I would sell the game the moment I did that, though. Like,
you did the same thing with Tron, though. Like, you got to the wizard mode on Tron, and you're like, I'm done. Even though there's more Tron to be had when you're done.
Sure.
So, I don't think the feeling of getting there changes just because you can keep playing the game.
Well, I mean, Iron Man. Let's take do or die multi-ball off the table, because I'm not Carl D'Angelo. He's godly, but like, the end of the game for mortals is the do or die.
Right.
But it doesn't end.
Right.
Like, you keep on playing, and you're going for score, and you don't feel like it ends.
Yeah.
But following that logic, then they should just like shut the game off at that point. You got do or die, and that's it.
Why not?
Because you're gonna only cap off at a high score, or you're gonna like purposely not try to get the end of the game. It's bizarre.
You got a points press, bro.
All right. So Kevin and I, we're done. This is the last podcast we're ever doing. We find out something that we disagree on.
There you go.
That's it.
All right.
Well, we should put a poll up on Twitter.
Yeah.
Let's see if people like pinball machines should end games or they should never end games.
Okay.
All right. You get 2 choices. That's it.
And you can say Kevin's right, because
team Kevin or team Kevin or team Nick on this one.
All right. We could get it in chat right now if you guys want to let us know what you think.
All right.
What were we doing?
We were doing the rules.
Okay. I think we covered pretty much all the rule stuff, right? Last ability. What do you think on last ability?
Well, it ends. I don't like that. I don't think it has good last ability. I think you're gonna see like the things in the game, and then you're gonna be like, okay. James says he already got to the wizard mode.
Yeah,
he's had it for less than a month.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I don't know.
Who knows how much more is gonna get added over the years and code updates, and they still have a lot to go. He's like number 38.
Yeah,
and they're making like 500 of these, so they got a lot of time to still program this game.
I think it's a beautiful game, and it looks good in a collection, but I don't see it having a huge last. At least not in my book, it doesn't have a huge last ability.
Nick says we forgot the frenzy mode, so that's kind of cool. Like when you complete a mode.
Oh yeah, we should talk about that. That's a good rule thing in there.
So there is, it does incentivize you to complete these modes. Not that you have any choice. Once you're in them, you either drain or you either do it or you die. But if you do it, you get it like a frenzy mode, a rapid scoring mode where you can just go nuts. Hopefully, bring in a multi-ball and just go crazy, right? And they're all unique. The other thing, I'm kind of glad we're going back to the rules, because I like the way the modes are implemented on this. I don't think they're all great, but the one that really stands out to me is the werewolf mode, where you hit a shot to load your gun, and then you hit that center bank to like shoot the werewolf. I love that. It's a really unique way to kind of do rules. It's not just here's a mode, hit these 5 shots, and then the mode's complete. So they're bringing the theme of the game into the rules.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, there's good variation in the modes.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like just shoot this shot. Like you feel like you're doing an objective. Like the vampire hitting Dracula or
you're
something
trying to hit him in his heart or whatever.
Right. Or etho draining it, or in the bugs. It makes sense that the bugs are all over and you're trying to squish them. So that's what I love that I love that in a pinball machine where I'm not just hitting a blinking shot. I'm actually doing something.
Yeah. And it's well integrated.
It is very much so.
So so we kind of came back to that. Last ability wise, I think the toughness of the game is good for last ability, but it's also like you got a set number. What is it, like 8 monsters you got to beat?
8 or 9, yeah.
And then you're done. So I think it's a good. It's not just like 5 modes and 2 multi-balls like the copy paste Stern code, right? So there's more to achieve there, but I guess it kind of remains to be seen. It's not a game that we've had in our collection, so it doesn't. We couldn't speak definitively to last ability, but the game hasn't been out there that long either. So I think it's kind of in the middle on last ability.
Yeah,
I don't think it's not a Lord of the Rings. It's not a Pirates, but it's not like where Black Knight is right now, for example.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this has got more going on than Black Knight. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
All right. So we're gonna give it some scores here. Let me pull up our score list again, and we're gonna go like that, and we're gonna go. Nope, not that. I'm screwing it up.
You did it. You were doing so good, Kevin.
All right. There we go. Oh, it was already up there, anyways. So again, to recap our score key, it's a 0 to 2 is a burn it. 3 to 5 is an expensive late. 6 to 8 is a solid game. 9 to 10, get your wallets out. Should I go first this time?
Go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's beautiful. The rules are interesting. It's got some pretty cool toys. They're not great. They're decent. The sound is good, especially if you like Alice Cooper. The thing that holds it back is the shots, right? But like we've said, they're findable. So it's going to be a challenging game. You're going to hit a lot of bricks along the way, but I think there's fun to be had, and I appreciate it for its unique playfield layout.
All right, so I'm gonna give it a 6 for being it's a solid game. I think it is very attractive. It feels like a good, physically solid game too. Art style, good package, good presentation. So kudos to Spooky for doing that. I think, again, it's just too many shots leads to bricks, which aren't fun. And I think the code needs to be fixed where you're sort of in jail and there's no timer and stuff. Because I was to the point where I'm like, if I never play this game again, I'll be okay. So with that said, if it's at 6 right now, I think a lot of what's carrying it is the presentation of the game. As Kevin mentioned, there are cool rules in there in terms of the way the modes are integrated and stuff like that. So I have a lot of like I don't know how I want to say, like I'm tilted towards the game in the positive direction because I like what they're doing, and I'm kudos to Spooky. And I think if they fix the modes, some might say it's not broken, but if they change the mode so it was more traditional and you time out and stuff like that, then my rating would definitely go up to like a 7.5. Okay, I think if they change that.
There you go. So that's your Alice Cooper Nightmare Castle review. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
We've got some Q&A, and then we'll wrap things up. So we got a couple questions in Discord. First one comes from our friend Fugel. He says, what website or software do you use to manage points in your league?
It's a good question.
Yeah. And
so
there's a bunch of answers, really.
There's 2 that comes to mind. So we use Never Drains, neverdrains.com, Carl D'Angelo. Shout out to him and INDISC. We use his a lot. Like we're using it right now for our new Selfie League pin duos, which you can talk about next time.
Yeah, we should have talked about that this time, but
yeah,
we'll be more into it by then, so we can talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah. So we use that for like sort of best game format, like when you're playing 5 games and pump and dump style. That works phenomenal for that. And then for like our monthlies or match play tournaments, we use matchplay.events. That's the site. Just go matchplay.events. Andreas does that software. Fantastic as well. That has a lot of versatility in it too. Both cost money. There's like a free version of Match Played Out events, and I think Carl charges $25 per like kind of tournament you're doing. Mm-hmm. You can reuse some of them, though, like feel like you're using it for a league or whatever. So there is that.
There's also for our home league and our team league, we just manually do it in spreadsheets, right? Because of how they're...
we're just recording wins and losses, though, in that for like team league.
For team league, but for our home league, we're calculating scores kind of Papa style. Yeah. And that gets complicated. Mm-hmm. So really, there's no software that'll really manage that, at least that I know of. So our scorekeeper, Jeffrey Worth, manages that, and Greg Lapa does it for our team league. So
that's right.
Get a good scorekeeper. That's the other suggestion we have. And our second and final question we have from Sergeant Ski, 1978. He says, Black Knight Swords of Rage. He has a code update already, which we talked about already. He says, my question would then be, is Stern banking on fear of missing out and releasing half-baked games to capitalize on that?
What do you think their fear is of missing out on? What are they afraid of missing out on?
I think probably the only thing that would apply to is LE games, right? And I think there's something to be said for that.
What do you mean, just LE games?
Limited edition. So, like, if a game comes out and you want the LE, you got to buy it right away. Otherwise, it's going to sell out.
Yeah.
I don't know that code necessarily factors into that, though.
I don't know why Stern is releasing half-baked games nowadays, because they've bought up like an army of pinball talent. You know, I guess it's more understandable when they were running really lean, and they haven't run lean for a long time.
Yeah.
So I don't get that.
It's more of a mix now, though, too, because Iron Maiden came out pretty much complete.
That was the best example of a game that's pretty much complete. I mean, Monsters is I mean, there's nothing there, but it's pretty much complete, right? Like, it's not sort of lacking. And to be fair, Black Knight might be pretty much complete too.
We don't know.
We don't.
But then you also have Guardians and Deadpool, which had a lot to come.
It had a lot to come. I mean, Guardians was the worst example. So yeah, they're still not at the point where they're like where Jersey Jack is releasing complete games, but they're also pumping more games out in that time frame. So I mean, they're hitting X amount of games per year. And it's like when they say the game's going to come out or the slate to come out, it comes out hell or high water, right? They're not going to hold on to it. So for better or for worse, you're getting it. My advice would be just to hold on to your wallets until the game is done. And you're really happy where the code is. Don't ever buy a game because you think, oh, well, we'll get there. It's going to get better. There's no reason.
There's no guarantee.
Unless you want an LE, and maybe that's what the FOMO and you know, oh, there's only so many of them, I got to buy it. That, you know, you're rolling the dice there.
Yeah. And yeah, good enough. All right, let's close it out. So don't forget, you can follow us on all of our social media, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We got a group, and you can, if you're in Buffalo area and you want to play in our Pin Duos, we got a group for that. Yeah, it's a partner pinball league where you grab a friend, you go play some games. All the details are on that. You can check that out.
We'll talk more next time because I think it's a good concept.
Yeah, as far as I know, nobody else is doing this. So
first,
you said it, not me.
That's right. I'm gonna get some hate mail now.
Yeah, you are.
Jesus Christ.
All right, you can email us with your hate mail. Email talkpinball@gmail.com.
Tell us how much you hate us,
or just yell at us on.
Whatever,
inside, wherever.
You know, Kevin's going to drop this on YouTube in probably a few hours, right? Or maybe tomorrow. You can put some weird comments on there.
I will share that I'm reading.
Rudy's usually first on that.
Yeah, I'm reading a new book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. So that's for all of our critics on social media. So thank you guys. That's for you guys. And you can follow us on Twitch if you're not already. And sub the Twitch channel is a great way to show some support. If we get like 22 more subs, we'll unlock yet another emote. So make it happen, kids.
Yeah.
And Patreon. So if you want to support us on Patreon, so we have multiple ways to support us. If you're not watching Twitch, but you're a fan of the podcast, Patreon is probably the best way to support us. You can go to patreon.com/Buffalo Pinball and donate any amount per month. We welcome it. You can also just send a donation via PayPal to buffalopinball@gmail.com. Some people have done it that way, and that's the way they prefer it. So we appreciate it. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we put that money to good use. It helps keep us going. It's not easy. It takes time. Kevin and I run full-time jobs, but we do this because we want to share our experiences, try to help people, provide our feedback, and promote the hobby as much as possible. Yep.
All right.
We'll see you guys next time. Take care, and have a good month.
Later.